Well, there's Mount San Jacinto.
Yeah, Mount San Jacinto Peak, affectionately known as San Jack, like me, Sid San Jack Davis. You know, in 1965, May 14th, I climbed that all the way up that chute, and it was one long haul. That's 10,804 feet, and right where we are now, it's sea level. That's over 2 miles high. And you know what else? That's the highest mountain on the Pacific Plate. San Gorgonio, Mount Whitney, they're on the continental plate. And that's where the San Andreas Fault is in between. Amazing. I love this mountain. Hey, let's go get it.
What you doing there?
Well, we got to have a permit to go up the mountain first, see? And so I'm getting the permit, and we take that with us. We have to leave a copy here for them. And by the way, ladies, it's your turn now if you want to get yourself a permit.
Okay, thank you.
You have to have it.
All right.
Otherwise, they'll shoot you.
Yeah. Okay. Gotta have that permit.
Well, it's 5.5 miles to San Jack Peak. There it is. And by the way, see this big tree up here? That's a Jeffrey pine, and it has the long needles, about so long, and the cones are about so big, and it has an aroma of like vanilla or pineapple, and it's a beautiful tree. And by the way, over here, that's the Sid Davis Trail. But this is the regular trail over here, and that's where we're going to go across because we'll make a loop, and on the way back we'll come back down the Sid Davis Trail because that way we get to see the whole area. All right, here we go.
That was fun.
Now, by the way, see all this lichen here? Now this lichen is actually two things. It's fungus and algae. So the little story, Freddie Fungus met Alice Algae, and they took a liken to each other. Up here is the eye of the mountain, way up there.
Where is it?
See up there, that hole in the rock?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that nice? That's the eye of the mountain.
Back to the eye. There they are.
Well, here's to the climb. Well, there you go. The rest is not to conquer.
Hey, Pat. What are these here? You know?
I'm not sure.
That's a fungus. It looks like a mushroom, but it's not. It's fungus.
Well, we eat it for dinner.
stuff in here, and it's called corn cabbage. A lot of people call it skunk cabbage, but it's not really that at all. It's corn cabbage. I mean corn lily.
Good to collect water, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Some buttercups.
Well, we'll have lunch here. And by the way, 1973, my grandson was 2 years old, 11 months, and 29 days. And we came up here and slept for an hour and a half, and we went all the way to the peak. Did it in one day, the youngest person that ever climbed the mountain. And you know who he is? It's him!
Hey, Mr. San Jac, are there any bears up here?
Not in this part of the mountain. I'm on the other side. We're talking about bears. You know, in Alaska, the polar bears, you know how the Eskimos get them? They go out there, out in the ice, and they cut a great big hole in the ice. And then they get a can of peas, and they put the peas all around the ice, and then they get out of the way. And then as soon as the bear comes to take a pee, they kick him right in the ice hole. Well, here we are up on top of Wellman Junction, and it's a mile from down below where we filled up with water. And now we're going to have our lunch, and I think we gained about 400 or 500 feet is all, but it was a full mile exactly. Eat hearty, because pretty soon we got to go to the peak.
Hey, how come John's carrying your pack?
Well, he's my Sherpa. Didn't you hear Sir Edmund Hillary when he climbed Everest? He had Tenzing as a Sherpa, so he's my Sherpa. And by the way, talking about Sir Edmund Hillary, by the way, I met him.
Yeah?
I was in New Zealand, and there's a museum there. And there's like a stairway going up, and then a stairway going up to the second floor. So in the middle, there's a beautiful picture of Sir Edmund Hillary with all the equipment like you're on now. And I'm looking at that picture, Sir Edmund Hillary, and I'll hear a voice. You like that picture? And I turn over, and it's Sir Edmund Hillary. No kidding. I was so excited. So anyway, he was telling me that when he and Tenzing were climbing Everest, every morning he'd give him some eggs for breakfast. Well, that's fine. Then pretty soon he says, "Hey, Tenzing, where are you getting these eggs?" So he opens up there, and there's a rooster there, see? He said, "That's a rooster. Rooster don't lay eggs." "A Himalayan rooster." That's Mount Cornell Peak over there, just the cloud just covering a little bit. I climbed that. That was the, actually I climbed that before I climbed San Jac, because the first climb, we climbed Cornell first. And we climbed it from the left side going up. That's a class 4 climb, and on the other side is a class 3. That was a nice climb. And then instead of going down to the trail again and then going up there, we went cross country, and we got into a bunch of buckthorn and also chinkapin. And boy, I'll tell you, we were fighting our way through that. We finally had to come down, and wow. Yep, it was a terrible thing, boy, but anyway, we did it. So you guys are going to go back now?
Yeah, I gotta head back.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
Then,
gonna head down.
when I get it done at the Mt San Jacinto Natural History Association, we'll all get together and see the picture.
Oh,
Okay?
great.
Thanks
It was
for
a pleasure
coming.
meeting. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Give me a hug.
So
for
good
God's
hiking
sake.
with you.
Goodbye. It was nice meeting
Okay.
you. Thanks a lot.
Okay, we'll see you then.
Bye.
All right.
Goodbye, Steve.
Have a safe
Bye.
Okay.
Nice meeting you both.
Nice meeting you. Bye-bye.
See you next time.
Okay, see ya. Maybe Friday.
Okay.
Well, Steve, we made it here to the cabin.
Yep.
Now, how's dinner, all right? Yeah. Well, there's nothing like when you get up to the cabin to have a little wine and a sandwich. To your health.
Sounds good.
Yeah, to climb these, you got to kick steps. Otherwise, you'd go down the hill you go. Well, it's getting close to the top. There's a map over here, it tells you the distances and stuff. But this is the actual peak up here. You can get no higher than this. Now you can see the tram down there.
Yeah.
And like I said before, Palm Springs down below. And then, well, look at those beautiful clouds as we go on around back towards Jean. And here on the roof, in the wintertime, the snow is actually right across the top, and I actually walk right across the roof on the snow. Amazing. And over here, and you know, and because there was so much snow, we dug a hole all the way down here. And boy, it was a hell of a job in order to get into the cabin. It was amazing just to be able to get inside the cabin like that. It was fantastic. Boy, beautiful. My ashes can be cast atop St. Jack, in the holes and in the crack. And the pine tree will say, Sid, San Jack Davis, you are mine, as I crawl through the roots into the limber pine. The thunder cracks when the lightning streaks, and the coyotes howl and the owl shrieks. Then the clouds pour rain, and down in the canyons they drain. Then the sun comes out, and the flowers sprout, and the eagle soars high way up in the sky. And as I rest beneath the trees, drinking wine and eating cheese, I then lie down and rest my head on the mountain's breast. Then in the winter, when it snows, now that's the time for my winter clothes. And oh boy, isn't it nice wearing crampons on the ice? And in the spring when the snow is low, and at evening watching the alpenglow. And when all the birds are fast asleep, in my bag I slowly creep. Just me, just I. Oh, I'm so happy I could cry. And in the morning at the crack of dawn, I have my breakfast, and then I'm gone. Climbing, climbing, ever higher, reaching to my heart's desire. And the thrill that I seek is to stand atop my mountain peak. And there atop stands a limber pine, sturdy, rugged, and all mine. And if you ask me how or why all this happens beneath the sky, I don't know the reason why. I'm just a mountaineer, and I will never die. Yeah. See, that's a lodgepole pine tree, Steve. And it has 2 needles. And also, the cone here is small, like a golf ball. And by the way, that's a limber pine. It's the most fantastic tree in all the whole mountain. I just love it. It's my tree. It grows so slowly because the winds and the cold all winter long, just enormous. And the needles are 5 to a bunch. Great tree, I love it. Now this east-facing slope is really quite steep. In the wintertime, it's all snow. And all this chinkapin here, you can't even see it. It's all buried with snow. And maybe just a few trees. A lot of them are bent over. They're covered too. And it's like almost empty. Beautiful. And then on the way back, run down there with the skis. Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you, this is real fun. And the slope, when we're up on top, well, there it is in reverse. Right up there. Isn't that great? That's Cornell over there. That's one where I showed you yesterday with the little clouds on it. Isn't that beautiful? That's a beautiful climb. It's a class 3 climb on the right and class 4 on the left. I think I mentioned that, but anyway, it's really nice. See the deer? Going for it.
Well, unless you put Cornell away.
No, that's clear. Well, that's a sugar pine, and it has 5 needles on it to the bunch. And it's different than, like I mentioned the other day, the Jeffrey pine, it only has 3, but they're the long ones.
What's this?
That's a snow planted. After the snows are over, then they creep out.
Huh.
And some of them get as high as 3-4 feet. Remember the logs that I told you we crossed over on the way yesterday? Well, the sign, and I mentioned that this was the Sid Davis Trail. So now we made the complete loop. Well, that's the white fir, and it's only 1 needle. They're singles, no doubles or triples, just 1.
Hey, what's happening? How you doing?
Hey, Eric! Eric!
Hey, Sid.
You know who that is?
This can't be that little guy.
Yeah.
2-year-old.
That's 2 years old. 2 years, 11
been
months, and
26
29
years.
days.
26.
You know, I've climbed Mount San Jacinto 632 times in 32 years. And in those years, so many different things have happened and things that I've seen and done. I'd like to share a few of them with you. So I jotted down a few little notes as to what happened. So, like for example, on July 11, 1964, that was my first climb, 711. That was a real crapshoot. And then 2 years later, I climbed Snow Creek, and that I think you saw in the beginning of the picture. And that's from the desert floor all the way to the top. That's over 2 miles of up, and after we got up around 8,000 feet, with snow, with the ice axe and crampons, it was a great climb. And it took me 18.25 hours to do it. And it wasn't because, and that isn't very fast either, because people have gone way faster than that, but our leader was sick and another fellow and I had to stay with him. And then on October the 5th, 1970, that was my 100th climb to the peak. Never dreamed that I ever do that, and that was a real treat. Well, in September 27th of 1970, I often wondered how fast it would take me to get to the peak. So this particular day is when I went up there, and I went all the way to the top, 1 hour and 25.5 minutes. Boy, that was a real thrill for me. On June the 29th, 1974, I took Stephen, my grandson, who was then 2 years, 11 months, and 29 days, and he went from the bottom to the top in 11.5 hours. We had an 1.5 hour nap at Round Valley, but he did it all the way, and he did it all by himself. That was a real treat for me, too, to see him do that, a little guy like that. And November 12th of 74, that was my 300th climb. And of course, every time you hit a milestone like that, it's always a treat. On April the 1st, 1976, I was 60 years old, and I climbed the peak for my 400th time. And boy, that was a real treat. In fact, when I got home, my daughter had a plaque made for me. Congratulations. On July the 8th, 1979, all the rangers came with me to climb to the peak on my 500th ascent to the peak. And what did they do? They took the sign down and they dedicated it to me. They put a little plaque, and that was quite a treat and quite a thrill. On October 9th, 1982, on my 588th climb to the peak, that was a day that I climbed every date of the calendar, 366 days. That included leap year. October 5th, 1983, That was another special occasion because I climbed the peak 600 times. That's like going from here to New York and back, and in fact a little bit more, and over 300 miles of up. And that was really a special trip. And on 7/11/96, I climbed it with Steve, and I dedicated it to my wife Norma, who passed away last April. Steve is now 25, and I'm 80, and of course there's more climbs to come. On my 32nd anniversary climb, July 11, 96, I climbed the peak 632 times. On September the 1st, 1998, at the age of 82, I climbed the mountain 643 times. And as an octogenarian, I have climbed it 12 times. Oh, by the way, I climbed the peak twice in one day, 6 different times. But you know, I'm really most proud and honored to have been the first president of the Mt San Jacinto Natural History Association. What a great organization.